Here they come. It's SEMA time. Man, I don't know how it's possible. Back at home, it's like winter, but here in Las Vegas, it's still like summer. Welcome to day 2 of our SEMA pre-show coverage. So this Jeep JT Gladiator is pretty cool, and if only because it's running a set of 35 1550s on a set of 22-inch wheels with absolutely no lift installed. And what that gives you is this slammed look. I mean, it may not be for everybody, but I think they did a pretty decent job of giving it that slammed lowrider look. And if you give it a look all the way around, it doesn't look that bad. Now, that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear what you guys think over on our YouTube channel or on Wayalife.com. We got tons of photos going on there. If you haven't seen them already, high-res photos of everything that we're seeing here, including things that aren't on this video. So let's give this thing a little bit more of a look, and you'll get to see what it's all about. Overall, it's a pretty basic design. It does have some cues from Sandstorm. As you can see, it's got the Hercules label along the hood, as well as these fender vents. But for the most part, this Jeep is all about promoting the ProCharger Supercharger that's underneath the hood. Alright, so now this is a build that we've been seeing on social media for a while now, and it is totally badass. This is actually made by Scosche, and it's featuring a Rock Krawler Suspension system. And being, of course, we're down here in the Fox Shock semi booth outside of SEMA, you can guess that's what they're running for suspension, or at least in terms of their shocks. So as you can see here, these are Fox internal bypass 3.0 factory raising shocks, and they look amazing. In addition to having an awesome wrap job and color scheme, it is completely adorned with Gen-Ride bumpers front and rear, as well as fenders all the way around. One of the things that I really do like about this build is that, unlike so many of the Gladiators that we've seen so far where they've got some kind of a bed rack to incorporate a rooftop tent, this one's got a CBI off-road fabrication rack that they're utilizing in a way to actually just mount up some bikes. So it's got that really good sporty feel. In addition to having a Magnaflow exhaust system installed on this thing, what completes this build are these awesome Mickey Thompson Baja MTZs in a 1450 mounted on a 20-inch KMC wheel. Here's a big one here at the SEMA show. This one is made by Road Armour, and as you can see, it's probably the tallest Gladiator that I've seen at the show so far. I have to say that I'm actually somewhat speechless. What I can tell you though, it is running a set of King coilover and bypass shocks, and what looks like a Rome long arm system up front, maybe an EVO short arm system in the rear, and all to clear a set of 42-inch boggers mounted on a set of 20-inch American Force wheels. Of course, to push these big bad boy boggers along, we've got ourselves a factory axle front and rear with AFE diff covers. I will have to say that the bed rack that this truck has is made by Road Armour is actually pretty ingenious. It looks like it's adjustable, so you can set it at different heights. And what's really clever about it is that they've got the spare tire strapped to the bottom side of the rack itself. So that clears up all the space below for you to carry a ton of gear. Of course, Road Armour also makes the bumpers and rocker guards that you see on this Jeep. So I get a lot of you guys asking about older Jeeps here at SEMA, which isn't something that you would see too often, but we wandered off to the back lot here, and what's really cool is SEMA's actually got this thing where it's this SEMA High School Vehicle Build Program, where they essentially work with different high schools to help kids build up things that they want, like these TJs, which you almost never see at SEMA anymore. So it's cool because if you look at even this one right here, it's a 2002 Jeep TJ, and you can see that they have before and after pictures. Same is true of all these other Jeeps as well. Let's give them a quick look. I had a feeling that we'd find this purple Jeep JT Gladiator somewhere here at SEMA. For those of you guys who aren't following social media, this thing belongs to a guy named Stradman. And rather than me tell you what's all on it, I would encourage you to visit his YouTube channel, because he could tell you all about the Hellcat Hemi that's under the hood and some of the history that goes along with it. So as anyone who knows me knows, I'm a huge fan of the Jeep truck, the Gladiator, the J20, J10, J2000. And when I first heard that Jeep was going to be coming out with a truck finally, I was actually really excited and somewhat disappointed that it wasn't going to have a grille that reflected its heritage. In fact, if anything, it looks more like a Wrangler, or maybe what a Scrambler should have been like. And so when I see something like this, this is a build by Rugged Ridge that's down in the South Hall on the ground floor, and as you can see, it's got a grille that looks like a Gladiator, but I can't say that I'm totally convinced or even like it. But of course, that's just me. I'd love to hear what you guys think on our channel, so by all means, please chime in to let me know what you think of it. But let's go give this thing a look around and see what's all on it. So because I was just talking about the grille, that's where we'll start. As you can see, this is actually made by Innovative Auto Creations, and it's actually really nice. There are a few other companies have made grills that are similar to this, but this one looks pretty factory, and on this build it looks pretty nice, even though it's not my cup of tea. You can also see, because this is a Rugged Ridge build, it's featuring one of their new stamped steel bumpers, as well as a winch that they're making now as well. So what's cool about the Gladiator as a whole, just like a Jeep JL Wrangler, is that you can take the doors and top off, giving it that awesome open air feel and look. And as you can see here, Rugged Ridge is displaying their tube doors that they have, as well as their side steps. I'm actually kind of surprised to also see that there is a rock hard cage, which I'm pretty sure it's rock hard because it looks like their type of design, especially with the clamps on here, but it's a full sport cage tying in the front and rear together, as well as a windshield brace as well. Looks pretty clean. So I've not seen these seats before, but I do have to point them out because they are kind of cool looking, kind of like racing seats or even aircraft seats. I believe they're made by Armour Works, and get a load of these guys. Circling around to the back, obviously with the Gladiator, the name of the game is overlanding, or all things overlanding, and this thing does have a bed rack, and I apologize if I'm butchering the name, but I believe it's made by a company called Leitner. And what's cool about this system is the fact that they've got these pods that, here, come around back, you can see on this side, allows you to attach these storage pods onto the side of the bed rack and be able to access them from the side of the Jeep. So that's kind of cool. They are made out of plastic. I don't know how durable they are, but it is kind of innovative. I think that's kind of interesting. You can see that they've also got these crossbars that are completely separated from the side supports or the structure. So I'm not exactly sure how that all works together, but I'll bet you could easily put anything you need up there, including a tent or otherwise. So circling around back to the front, I am happy to see that Rugged Ridge does finally have their snorkel system on a vehicle for the show. In fact, they did send us one as well, so we'll be installing that right after SEMA, so that's coming soon. That you should be able to buy this, I'm going to guess, right after the show. Last but not least, last year Rugged Ridge came out with these awesome DRLs that we'd been waiting for them to release. And I'm going to guess that they haven't because they actually redesigned it a bit. They actually have this nice piece that goes underneath it to give it a nice defining edge, and it looks like they've got some fender liners that they've created as well to tie everything together and give it a very finished look.